We are all assigned to give. Now, the challenge would be who to give to and how to give. In what situation must I serve? Because we can't serve everything. We can't serve everybody, and not every time we are provided with something must we serve or give attention, because serving comes in so many different ways. We give our energy, we serve with our money, we serve with our place of stay, we give in so many different ways. But the thing would be that the challenge would be who to give to and for how long. And the Bible explains it all. And I have two stories that I would like to mention. Oh my God. These stories is tea, okay? Very much tea. And we here for the drama. So, our duty is to serve. Yet, when we serve, we must use wisdom in our giving. We cannot keep entertaining our foes. And sometimes things happen in our life. God allows things to happen in our life for us to see. And that's exactly what happened to the story of Job in the Bible. You know, if you read the story of Job, well, everyone knows the story. Well, according, how everyone knows the story is Job, he was tested by God. The devil made a bet with God to test Job's faith. That's the story that everyone runs with. But as I personally read the story, I see something totally different. Job was full of service. All Job did was give. He was pleasing to God's sight. It's so real. This is so real. Job wasn't even an Israelite. Like he wasn't even one of the children of Israel, and he was a part of the bloodline. Nah, like Job was straight regular. And he was still blameless in the eyes of God. He was still pleasing to the eyes of God. So why is it that everything was taken away from him? Why is it that he was so challenged? It's to the point where, it's not like I'm about to cry, right? Because it's emotional for me. Mind your business. Why? Why is it that he had to lose his kids, lose his house? You know what I'm saying? The reason being, it's because, yes, Job was serving. He was giving. Like, everyone in the town, in the neighborhood knew him as a good person. He was giving, but he still lost everything. Why is that? Now, people would say, oh, because God was testing him. God was having a meeting in the heavens, and the devil interfered and said, hey, I'm going to and fro, seeking who I may devour. You feel me? But no. That's what the church would tell you. You feel me? Like that, people want you to fear, like have this fear of God punishing you or testing you. It hurts my heart, because the person that loves you so much, that would do anything for you to be in peace of mind, is not going to test you. Is not going to put you in certain situations. We must always be mindful of the balance of this life. We must always be mindful of the principles. This earth was created with guidelines, and we follow them. Like, we have no choice but to follow them, for real. You know what I mean? So Job was giving. Job was serving. He was loving to everyone, but the reason why he lost everything was because he was serving and giving to the wrong person. All these years of him, in his wealth and having his children and them party every weekend, and he do his offerings and stuff like that, and he's bringing the community together and everybody jamming, and and he loses everything, and no, it's God already knows your heart. You know what I'm saying? And God knew Job's heart. God knew that Job was going to make the right choice, and that's the reason why Job ends up having more than what he had the first time. Now, I'm over here dragging the story. Is it tea? Okay, so anywho, so after so this is what gave me, like what I'm telling you right now. Like, I'm just putting it all together, right? Okay, so Job, his wife. Okay, so while Job was rich and having it going on, his wife was never complaining. Okay, he thought everyone in his family was on his side. He was happy. He felt fulfilled because, his immediate circle, he got his sons, he got his shorty, you feel me? He got his flock, them, he got his mansion, he got his community. He up, you know what I'm saying? And he thinking everything around him is supporting him. Everything around him is for him. And God was like, no, I see an issue. And Job, you're kind of too high to look low, so I have to take everything from you, you know what I'm saying, so that you could see. You sometimes the grass got to be cut low so that you could see the snakes, you feel me? Because when the grass too high, you're not even really paying attention. God asked the devil to do the bid. That's another topic. I'm gonna talk about that next time, because that's another controversial. That's some other tea, okay? Because the devils will always be. Listen, everybody's doing their job. It's our assignment to do our job as well, right? It was when Job lost everything. It was when Job was going through a challenge. That's when all of a sudden his wife began to press him like, you don't got no money? What are you doing? And you still praying to God? You still talking to God? Job had to realize, like, yo, shorty was never really rocking with me from the get-go. He went through so much. He went through so much, but mind you, like this is even more tea, because if she's acting like that while he's broke, while he lost everything, what was she doing while he was up? She probably was stealing from him. She probably was doing things behind the scenes that he just had no clue, because he's just so stuck in his happy world doing his happy thing. Yes, let's say Job's faith was tested. Let's say that. Okay, let's say let's say the devil did pull up to God while he was having a meeting. Because that part gets me mad. You know why? Because if you were a boss in real life and you having a meeting with your mans, who's butting in your meeting? Who's gonna just walk in your meeting, talk and challenging you? Who's doing that? I don't know. If I'm having a meeting with my peoples and I'm talking, you feel me? Who's walking in, interrupting my meeting? I don't know. I don't know. And listen, God is in you, God is in me. So if we could relate, you feel me? We could relate. This is church op. But let's say for instance, yeah, okay, they did make a bet, like God did test Job's faith. Let's say, because our faith will be tested in this realm. No matter what, your faith is tested. Okay? So, okay, and God made it that way. Okay, boom, granted. The work was still done. Job still dropped shorty. You know what I'm saying? Job, he had to realize who was he serving, who was he giving. I'm sure, like, as we all go through those stages where we have to take that time and really evaluate ourselves and the people that we put in our life or the people that we are attracted to. You feel me? Like stuff like that. So it's all on who we give, because we can serve the wrong people, and that will be the purpose of us losing everything that we own, losing everything that we cherish. You know what I'm saying? So that's the story of Job that stuck out to me. It just it teaches me a deeper understanding of serving, and being mindful of the people around us. um because think about it, and I feel like how my perception, how it has been given to me, it makes so much sense, because everything was killed in Job's life. All his animals, all his children. You feel me? He lost his crib. He lost everything. The only thing that stayed alive was his shorty. You feel me? And his neighbors. Like, you feel me? The people from the town. But from his immediate circle, everything died except for his wife. God was trying to show him something about his shorty. You feel me? Like, and God knew that Job was gonna hold it down. You feel me? Like, when you solid, when you live with integrity, when we have a certain type of dignity, nothing, son, be solid. I would live in the streets for